tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Welcome to the Dhammapada program. This is the verse number 50. Naparesam vilomani naparesam katakata atta nova avekkeya katani katanicha. This is those words uttered by the Buddha. It gives us great advice. One should not take notice of the faults of others or what they have done or not done. Let one be concerned only about what one has done and left undone. What one has done and left undone. Naparesam vilomani. Many people used to recall the abusive words and harsh speeches made against them by others. The rush speech or unkind speech is so unpleasant to everybody. The knowledgeable, good people forget such abusive words uttered by others against them. They think that it is just merely a word or an action which ought not to be concerned seriously. Some people pay much emphasis for such abusive, harsh speeches and decide to take revenge of. This is a perfect method given by the Buddha for us to lead a happy life and to avoid heinous crimes of society. The Buddha explains, Khanti paraman tapo titikkaha. Forbearance is the best religious austerity. So it is the utmost ascetic practice. And it gives lifelong happiness. If one were to take serious action after getting angry or fuming, he would take revenge by killing the opposite person. And that happens because of no patience of few minutes. Absence of patience for few minutes. Therefore, 2 or 3 minutes forbearance quite equal to 40 years in jail, 50 years in jail, or sometimes capital punishment. So, we have to get used to forget others' rebukes and harsh speech against us. If we think and recall such a thing, means that we are disturbing our own mind. We are disturbing our own mind, our own consciousness. In better words, we are making serious injuries to our own mind thereby. So the Buddha's advice is that best practice in the world regarding the inappropriate or appropriate attitude for our opponent. So the Buddha's advice is the best practice in the world regarding the appropriate attitude for our opponent. Supposing there is an unfriendly thing between husband and the wife. The husband comes later in the evening and starts to scold the wife. Or out of alcoholic influence. Then, according to Buddhist way, she should practice patience by observing silence and may think, my husband is my best friend because he teaches me how to practice khanti, forbearance. And husband also may think in the same way because wife is not a slave of the husband. She is the best friend of the husband. Husband should not abuse the kindness, gentleness of wife. Wife also should always show a compassionate thought towards the husband and his weakness. Naparesam kata katam. This means not to engage in other one's works. What he has done and left undone. Many people like to observe the happenings of their neighbors. It is what ought not to be done. The wise ones never do such things. It is a time-wasting matter. It is harming to you. It's harming not others, but harming to oneself. Time is very precious for everyone. It never comes to us again. So we have to make use of our time fruitfully. If you search for others' work and try to criticize, that means we are losing our precious time. Now in the society of the community of Sangha, if one were to observe the works of another monk and say that he is unfaithful and unpleasant, is what not to be done. In the same way, in society, we should never look at others to make up stories. To make up stories because it harms oneself before harming others. But it's good too, with the intention of making others correct. One who is getting ready for going out or is going to out for a game or go out for dinner, and he or she must always be careful of using abusive words. Must always be friendly. Must always show friendly attitude. The best friend of the man is his wife. A wife's best friend is her husband. If they understand each other, if they understand the weakness of each other, it is good always to, with good intention, to point out and get them corrected and correct others. This is the best way to have a peaceful family life. Atta nova avikkeya. This advice. This means that we have to scrutinize our own works. Whether I have completed this, whether I have done my duty, or what is done and left undone. Thinking in that way, one may observe his own life, his own religious and spiritual life. It is a poor human nature that many of us try to look at others and to make up stories. This attitude is harmful and disgusting. Buddha's advice is not to look at others and to find out weaknesses and their faults. Instead, we have to look at ourselves. What I have failed to do, what remains to be done. Then we will be a better person. We will be loved by others. This good advice, please try to follow. May you all be well and happy.